Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to slightly deviate from the original plan. The original plan was to progressively learn complex concepts of IT and build slightly more challenging labs as we went along. But due to some unforeseen circumstances, I don't even call them unforeseen, but I need to upload a video to my channel so that I can incorporate this to my portfolio. But I understand that there are more questions that are evolving from this explanation than there are answers. And all these questions will be addressed in the next video to include what is a portfolio? What is a portfolio? More specifically, my portfolio. What is Azure? Because Azure is not like uh, VirtualBox. It is in the sense that you can deploy virtual machines, but Microsoft is a cloud computing service. And so I don't want to get too in depth with that. What I want to focus on is deploying these virtual machines in Azure. So get you some go-go or coffee or whatever it is, and I will see you in the classroom. What's going on, guys? Okay, so let me grab mine. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to portal.azure.com. You will log in with your Microsoft account. So the first thing that you are going to want to do is create a resource group. If you don't have a shortcut here already designated for your resource group, you can just type in resource group in your search box. There it is right there. Select down here in the middle of your screen, create resource group. Make sure that the correct subscription that you have is selected. I only have one. And then name your resource group. I'm going to name mine VM_lab. For region, I'm going to select the default region, which is East United States. But if you click the drop down, you can see you can choose just about any region. I am going to select review and create. Validation passed. Select create. Resource group has been created. Next, we are going to select home and select virtual machines. Again, if it's not here, just type in virtual machine in the search box and it'll pop up. We'll select virtual machines. Go down here to the middle of your screen and select create and click on Azure, Azure virtual machine, Azure. Now, obviously there's a lot more things to select here, but it's not that daunting of a task. Same thing as earlier, make sure the correct subscription is selected. Make sure that you select the resource group that we just created, VM Lab. Name the virtual machine. I'm going to name it VM1. Same region, US East, US. I'm going to leave the availability options and zones the same. What I forgot to mention is what exactly I'm going to be showing you how to do. Sorry. We are going to install 2 Windows 10 virtual machines, and then I'm going to show you how to change some settings around so that they can ping each other. Okay. And all that'll make sense as the video progresses, so please stick around. Now, back to the classroom. Image. Okay. So this is like the ISO file when we were setting up VirtualBox or the virtual machines in VirtualBox. Go to the drop down, select Windows 10 Pro version. Next, you will select the size. In other words, how powerful do you want your PC to be, and it'll give you an array of options here. Okay, I'm gonna go with, it gives me an option for recently used sizes, so I'm gonna select the standard V5, 2 CPUs, 16 gigs of memory. Side note, if you don't have the same option that I do, then try changing your region to my region, the one that I selected, East US. Keep in mind that the sizes you can choose will depend on the region that you select. So they're all going to vary. Okay. But I just went with 2 CPUs and 16 gigs of memory. So as long as you select 2 gigs or 2 virtual CPUs plus 16 gigs of memory, you'll be fine. Even one will be fine for what we're doing. But I'm just playing it safe with the 2 CPUs. Next, you're going to want to name your give a username to one of your admin. Do not select admin. Select an actual username. So I would choose student 1. Next, you will assign a password to this user. Issue them a password. Confirm password. Make sure that RDP 3389, which is Remote Desktop Protocol 3389, is selected because we are going to remote into this virtual machine from our host machine. I will show you that. Next, you want to confirm, and you can hit next and just kind of look through these different options here, but we're not going to mess with any of them. If you hit next one more time to networking, what will happen is Azure will create a virtual network for us. As you can see right here, it's going to create for us virtual network VM_lab/VNet. So when we create our second virtual machine, we're just going to ensure that in the networking section that this virtual network is selected. Otherwise, they won't be able to talk to each other at all. Okay, so now review and create. It's validating, validation passed, create. All right, deployment in progress. When you're on this screen, that means that Azure is now working its magic to create this virtual machine. We're good to go. Next, you're gonna go home, back into virtual machines, drop down in the middle under create and select Azure Virtual Machine. And we're going to create our second virtual machine. Same subscription, same resource group. But now when you go to resource groups, you'll notice that there's a second resource group, okay? It's called Network Watcher Resource Group, or RG. And I'll explain what that is here in a second. So don't select that one, select the original resource group that you created. VM Lab, give it a name. I will name it VM2. Same region, same size for the image. And here, same size. Username. To confirm this password. Now listen, it's imperative that you keep track of these usernames and passwords because you're going to need them to remote desktop into these machines, okay? So what I did is the only thing that I changed was their username, student 1 and student 2. Password is the same for both of them. Again, ensure that RDP 3389 is open or selected. Confirm, next to networking. And as you can see, the virtual network is already automatically selected for us. So we are good on that end. Review and create. Create. Deployment in progress. Now that we've been prompted that the deployment is in progress for the second virtual machine, what we can do is we can go home and then up here in the search box, type in network, and you are going to want to select this one right here, Network Watcher, and then on the left you want to scroll down to topology. Make sure your subscription is selected. Same thing with the resource group, VM Lab for me. And this is what that Network Watcher resource group is. I created 2 virtual machines, and these are all the components required for that, right? So we have virtual machine 1 and 2, network security group for VM1, and then one for VM2, and then a resource for an IP to be issued to VM1 and one to VM2. And then, of course, 2 NICs, one for each VM. And then this is your subnet mask, and then this is the network for the virtual network for all of these virtual machines to communicate with each other. So next, we are going to go home, select virtual machines, and you can see that now both of these virtual machines are up and running. And then if you again want to just get a quick glance of all your resources, select home, go to resource groups, select the resource group for your virtual machine. Let's put it by type. And here they are, which is the ones that we just saw in the Network Watcher. 2 hard disks or 2 disk drives, one for each virtual machine, a NIC for each one of the virtual machines, security group, 2 IPs, the 2 virtual machines themselves, plus 1 virtual network. Good to go. Select home, virtual machines, virtual machine 1. And what you are going to want to do is keep note of this public IP address. So hover over this and then select copy. And you're going to go to your search bar down here at the bottom for your host machine. Start typing in remote, REM, and then remote desktop connection should pop up. Open it. And then next to computer, what you're going to do is you're going to paste in this public IP address that you just took down. You're going to select connect. The username is going to be the username that we created. And then the password. Good to go. Once the certificate warning pops up, you are good to go. Select yes. Okay. Off, 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 off. Accept. Now, while that one's setting up, you're going to minimize. Now you're going to go to VM2, copy the public IP address. You're going to right click your icon down here for remote desktop. Select remote desktop connection. Paste the new IP address. Connect. This time you're going to use the second username. Yes. No, 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 no. Accept. Yes. Okay. Now, minimize this one as well. Okay, so now we have virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, Azure, and I'm actually doing all of this within VirtualBox. Now, if you get confused as to like, maybe you didn't write down, like I didn't write down which virtual machine is which, right? You can type in CMD, pull up that command prompt. It tells you what user you are automatically, right? Student 2. But just to verify, you can type in the command, who am I? No spaces, hit enter. Oh, you are virtual machine 2, user student 2. If you just want to isolate the host, the command you can use is host name, no spaces, enter, VM2. Good to go. Now, let's minimize VM2, open up VM1, CMD. To show you that I have connectivity, I'm going to ping myself. That's right. I'm going to ping myself. And we haven't talked about the command ping, and I will. Again, we're progressively moving up to concepts. I kind of deviated slightly for this video, but we're back on track next video, I promise. So I obviously have connectivity. I just pinged google.com. Got connectivity. Minimize. Go back to Azure. Go to VM2. Now you're going to go down to the bottom right here where it says private IP address. Mine is 10.0.0.5. So I'm going to copy that. You do the same. And we're going to ping virtual machine 2 from virtual machine 1. Enter pinging. Ooh, request timed out. I don't understand. Maybe I lost connectivity, right? Let's see. Let's ping Google again. Nope, definitely still have connectivity. And that is because by default, Windows Firewall, the host firewall that comes with Windows, incorporates a rule that does not allow you to receive these ping commands to your actual machine. So we are going to change that so that both of these virtual machines can ping each other, okay? Now we have to change those inbound rules to each one of the machines. So first we're gonna go over to VM2 and change it on that machine. So minimize, go to VM2, again, student 2, go down to your search bar and start typing in firewall. You really only have to type in FIR. And you want to select the Windows Defender Firewall with advanced security. Maximize that. Sorry for the blinding screen. If you look over to your left, what you're going to want to do is select inbound rules. Let's organize this chaos by protocol right here in the middle. Then scroll down till you see ICMP v4. Now, ICMP is Internet Control Message Protocol, right? And it's just basically how machines communicate with each other. But if you look over here to this core networking, notice how there's no green and white check mark to the left. And if you follow it to the right where it says enabled, it says no. So what you're going to do is right click, enable rule. And the one right below it, right click, enable rule. You want to make sure it's the one that say ICMP echo request. All right. So now minimize VM2. Let's go back to VM1. Again, VM1. Let's clean this clutter up. Boom. Let's try it again. Ping 10.0.0.5. This should work. Would you look at that? sent 4 packets, received 4 packets, lost 0, aka 0% loss. Awesome. Now let's go back to VM2. Let's close this out. And let's ping ourselves. And I know I'm going to talk about ping at a later time, but whenever I say ping ourselves, I'm talking about the loopback address, which is any IP address range in the 127 IP address range. So for example, we can ping 127.0.0.2. At least you get the gist of this, right? And you're just pinging yourself essentially. Good to go. Let's get virtual machine 1's private IP address, which for me it will be 10.0.0.4. Copy. We're back into student 2, 10.0.0.4. Okay, obviously it doesn't work, so let's go ahead and Control C. CLS, clear it out. All right, let's go back to virtual machine 1. And same thing, start typing in firewall. Windows Defender firewall with advanced security. Inbound rules organized by protocol. ICMP v4. Echo request. Right click. Enable rule. Enable rule. Minimize. Ping 10.0.0.4. Good to go. And that is how you install 2 virtual machines, and that is how you are able to ping each other. So 2 things that we have to do before we are done with this lab. First of all, you want to go back into your Defender's firewall, inbound rule, organized by protocol, IPv4, and then you want to disable those echo requests. Okay. And then close out this machine. Okay. Right click, disable, right click, disable. Close them out. Okay. Now, the last thing you want to do is you want to delete all of your resources so that you don't eat into your free credits, or if you are paying as you go, so that you don't rack up a bill. So let's go to resource groups. Select VM Lab, go to delete resource group. And then here in this box on the right, you have to type in the name of the resource group. Once you type it in correctly, down here at the bottom, you will be given the option to delete. Select that. While we're waiting on that, go to this other resource group that was created for our network watcher. Select delete resource group. Type the name of your resource group, delete. Once all your resources have been deleted, let's go ahead and confirm. So you can hit refresh. You should be prompted to create new resources. So select home, refresh the web page. No resources. Trust but verify. One more time, resource group, no resources. We're good to go. Let's go ahead and sign out, close it out, shut down. Oh, that's right. I told you I was inside VirtualBox this whole time. Gotta love it. All right, guys. Just to do a quick recap, what do? We installed 2 Windows 10 virtual machines, and we learned how to ping each other, or ping yourself, and then how to ping one another, and the steps required to disable, or rather to enable, the rule that will allow you to ping one another. So for the next video, I owe you guys a more in-depth explanation as to why we took this deviation, or rather why I took this deviation. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I hope to see you guys on the next hilltop. Raynet out.